There's even personal examples. I own distilleries, not only AI companies, but I own distilleries. But we just got a 50% tariff notice for glass and some of the other things that we use to do bottling on our lines. And for the last 2 weeks, we've been trying to figure out what do you do, right? Do you actually raise prices? Do we limit production? What do we do with bottles? Do we forward lean and get more bottles, right? When I talk about pallets, I'm talking thousands and thousands of dollars in added costs for our companies. I can't imagine what it's doing to larger manufacturers if you go downstream on tariffs. The economy is the single biggest thing here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I can tell you that, especially with the job losses up north with government jobs and contractor jobs, and you're seeing sort of these arbitrary cuts coming down right through DOGE and through other mechanisms. So for right now, I think the economy is not in a great place. If you look at the revised June numbers going down, only 22,000 jobs added this month. The messaging, I think, from Democrats and independents could be simply, this is a failed experiment in the first 8 months, and there has to be a course correction.
Omékongo, I don't give a shit if all of their businesses shut down.
Well, if that's what it's going to take for them to wake up and smell the coffee or smell the crops or whatever it is, then it looks like it's going to have to be so be it, because none of these guys seem to have a plan to do anything counter to Trump. And the reason why I care is because whenever many of these folks in communities experience downturns, we always suffer more, either directly through violence or through other economic types of issues. And so when I think about these farmers in particular, one of the things I noticed in those videos I was watching over the weekend is that there were no black farmers there. And so when Trump does bail these farmers out, you know what? They're going to go to court to make sure that the black farmers don't get any of it. So again, the inability to think Fred Hampton style in terms of coalition building is what's going to continue to do these guys in. And another thing I'm thinking about is USAID and how Elon Musk, closed that down. And this was one of the main areas where these farming products were actually going. How could these farmers not be mindful enough to know that much of their products that were going around the world were being distributed through USAID? But hey, go cut it, let it go, waste, fraud, and abuse. So like you said, USAID, that would be part of that woke thing that they chose not to do, and they're going broke right now. That lady talked about 5 people committed suicide. I remember in 2018 when the Department of Agriculture was sending notices about what to do about your farm, there was numbers for the suicide hotline attached to those packets as well. This is what he does. And he's like the guy, Trump is like the guy who goes hire somebody to come and try to rob him and his girlfriend so he can beat them up and become the hero. He needs people to depend on him. He needs people to for him to be able to say, I'm your savior, I'm going to be the one to help you. And he picks and chooses who gets that. So even when that bailout comes for them, black farmers ain't going to get it. But now you're talking about these distilleries, you're talking about all these other businesses. Is it still going to be enough for them to say, I am going to vote for the other guy, I'm going to vote for the other party regardless? I am still not convinced, because I even remember World War II when Hitler's soldiers were losing, and some of them to their dying day, or even as they were getting arrested, were still saying Hitler was right. And I feel like so many of them are still brainwashed to this day. So we're going to see a lot more find out moments, Roland.